Today on AP Hug Life News, the topic is conflict.
What kind of conflict?
Not conflict like dating your best friend's ex or something, or leaving toilet paper on the toilet roll after it's already empty, but conflict as in why nations get in conflict with each other.
Today we are going to play a little game, and it's called a card game. So we're going to choose cards, and they have reasons why countries get in conflict with each other. So choose a card from here. You can choose a card. Go ahead and choose.
I guess I'll choose the first card.
Just choose. You should choose.
All right. It says cultural values. Why, a war that reminds me of cultural values is the Israel and Palestine conflict happening still right now, I think.
Yeah.
For the Israel and Palestine conflict, to sum it all up, basically, the Jews had received refugee status from the UN and decided to travel to the home of the historic Palestinians. Basically, they were fighting over land, and each of them thought that they deserved it, and once the Jews decided that they belonged in that land, then there was a bunch of wars, a bunch of bombs, people were fighting back and forth, and then conflict. Why did nations engage in conflict? This is why. This is a reason. Cultural values. Religion. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
Now to a quick video. Okay, the next card, I guess you want to lift that up for me? I'm lazy right now.
Okay, I guess I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Nationalism.
All right.
Nationalism.
Nationalism. Okay, a war that reminds me of nationalism is none other than World War I.
Oh, yes. World War I basically started because an angry Serbian nationalist killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand with two bullets. 2 bullets. Not one, 2 bullets. He just killed him. And that started a domino effect. And then Austria declared war on Serbia.
Because the Austrian people thought that the Serbians did it. But it was a Serbian nationalist who shot the 2 bullets. 2 bullets. All right.
Nationalism. That's what happens.
Nationalism is a reason why nations engage in conflict.
Yes.
World War I. The Great War.
The Great War. World War I, yes.
All because of Franz Ferdinand. Phew.
The next one is ethnic competition.
Ethnic competition, right. What's a war? The Yugoslav Wars.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Of course. The Yugoslav Wars was due to ethnic competition.
Yugoslavia was once a big whole nation. And after these Yugoslav wars, it broke up, sadly. unfortunately, just breaking everyone's heart. It broke up into six countries, nations, whatever you'd like to call them, politically correctly. And they are Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. I excuse myself from pronouncing all of those wrong horribly. But
They broke out because different ethnicities do not like to live with each other.
mhm.
So they broke up, became separate republics.
Ethnic enclaves, if you
Yes,
will.
yes.
And basically, they all wanted something different for their specific ethnicity within that nation. So, they did whatever they had to do in order to get what they wanted, including ethnic cleansing, crimes against humanity, and rape.
That was a big thing.
Back then and still today.
Yes.
Countries will do whatever they must do, harsh or not harsh, in order to get what they truly desire. Ethnic competition, a terrible thing. Yugoslavia. The next card. Ethnic cleansing. Wow.
Whoa.
What's a war? World War II?
Oh, yes.
Hitler and all that jazz?
Yes, of course. Of
Right.
course.
Now we all know about World War II. You know, the Holocaust, Hitler, genocide, ethnic cleansing, if you will. That's the reason why nations get in conflict that we're discussing now. Ethnic cleansing. Well, Hitler wanted this perfect Aryan race, and so what started it all was his invasion of Poland. He kept invading all these countries to build his mass land and power that he wanted for his dictatorship. And so, once other nations, such as the UK and France, got informed that he was going to invade Poland, they issued a abort for him to take on. They wanted him to abort his mission on invading Poland. He formally said no and continued to invade Poland, then causing world powers to get involved. Well, we now see how that happened. Hitler killed himself, and, all this bad stuff happened, World War II. But we came out great. It was a nice ending, I guess, if you will. Yeah. Hitler didn't listen, and he got what came to him. Ethnic cleansing. It was what he was trying to do, even though Hitler himself was partially a Jew. He wanted to cleanse.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Honestly.
That's right. He was insane, and strike that from the record.
Don't invade Poland! Don't invade Poland! Do not.
I'm going to invade Poland. Now, the pink one. Wow.
Whoa. Need for resources, land, and wealth. Okay.
It's a war. What's what? The Iraq War!
Oh, yes, of course.
perfect.
The Iraq War was basically the United States went into Iraq. George Bush and Dick Cheney wanted to go to Iraq to stop the Muslims from overtaking each other, to stop the Shias and the Sunnis from overtaking each other. But really, what we were really doing in there was taking their oil, which is need for resources, land, and wealth. Oil
You probably
gives
cannot
us,
read this.
You probably can't, but oil is a resource, gives us wealth, and land is where the resources are coming from.
That's true.
So, and actually, very big oil companies were endorsing the Bush-Cheney.
Bush-Cheney organization.
Yes,
The
organization. They endorsed them, they gave them money because they wanted they wanted the United States to go into Iraq and get oil. Need for resources.
And that would also help our economy with the gas prices that we were featuring then. But yeah, to sum it all up, the reason we went to Iraq basically was for oil, to help ourselves and not care about whatever conflict was happening within the Middle Eastern countries themselves.
What are we invading Iraq for again?
We're invading them for oil! There it is!
Oh my god.
There's the oil! But remember, we can't tell anyone this is why we invaded Iraq.
Okay.
Tell them something different. And the last one, drum roll please. Freedom! Right,
okay.
Freedom. There's two wars for this, I think, that come to mind. The Vietnam War and the Korean War! All right!
Okay.
All right. The Vietnam War. The reason why the United States of America got involved in the Vietnam War was none other than to act like the world police yet again. The United States was fiercely afraid of communism and thought that communism was of the devil, basically. So, many nations, we were right in the Cold War, that's when the USSR was communist, and we were in the Cold War, and all these problems were happening, and yeah, so basically, a bunch of countries were becoming communist, aka China, and Vietnam was thought to become communist. Korea, but we'll get to that in just a second. But, so basically, France took control of Vietnam. The Vietnam people didn't like that at all because they became poor, and the French people were becoming rich. So, the Vietnam people didn't like that at all. Therefore, influences from other nations, like China. China was communist. Therefore, the US was scared that the China influence was going to influence them too much. Well, to keep the order within France and Vietnam, the French issued a treaty to North Vietnam so that there hopefully would not be this big conflict in between the two parts of Vietnam. So North Vietnam rightfully became communist, and South Vietnam tried to remain as anti-communist as possible. The US supplied South Vietnam, or anti-communist, with money to help fight the Civil War kind of deal going on. So things got to be very dangerous and harmful for the inhabitants of Vietnam, the two parts. The US decided to act on it. So the US sent a ship in the Gulf of Tonkin, and it kind of just sat there for a little bit. And it was shot with a North Vietnamese missile. So then, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution was issued saying that US military could use force on Vietnam, meaning war was declared. Well, it wasn't the best thing that could happen, because in the end, a lot of people from us died, a lot of people from the Vietnamese died, Viet Cong guys used guerrilla warfare and, just ambushed us, and, the US was not used to fighting in these thick woods and everything, so we kind of lost, but, it was good in our hearts.
Yeah.
So that's all that really matters, right? We did what we thought was right, but we wasted our time. After the US pulled troops out of Vietnam, as the US expected, Vietnam as a whole became communist. Well, the communistic views in Vietnam weren't that bad, actually. They came up with a market economy, meaning that, business people decided what they wanted to sell, what they wanted to buy, whatever, so they had control over that. And, now Vietnam and the United States are on friendlier terms. So, they're not bad. We just wasted our time fighting them. But alright, thank you. Now Korea.
The Korean War I'm saying is because it's still going on to this day. Okay. It's between North and South Korea. North is communist, South is not communist. And the U.S. and South Korea have an alliance. They're friends because we do not like communists. We do not like when people take away freedom. Freedom. We do not like that. No.
Oh.
So they're still fighting today, and it's more of a peaceful fight. It's not like they're at war. They're at war, but not fighting each other. Fighting.
It was a part of the U.S.'s worry stage in the Cold War because the U.S. was, like we said, for Vietnam War, was just very scared of a whole world domination of communism. So, Vietnam was going to become communism. They did. China was communist. Russia was communist.
North Korea.
Korea.
And they didn't want South Korea because that's just too much at that point.
As suggested by a intelligent man in the U.S., the domino theory, as one country becomes communist, all the rest of them would. So that's not what the U.S. wanted to happen. So it was... The Korean War was not a very... As the war continues today, it's not harmful. It's more of just a staring competition, if you will.
Yeah. So, Vietnam War, Korean War, very similar. Both don't want freedom to be taken away from them by communists. So, freedom. Very similar. Communist is bad. Freedom, no.
We hope you've enjoyed our segment of news broadcast for AP Hog Life Broadcasting Network and our special link on how nations get in conflict with each other. Now, good evening, good night. Good semester, and if I don't see you, good year. All right, good summer. All right, I'll see y'all later. Good night. Don't come knocking on my door. All right, bye. I hate my life.
Oh, you've never seen the?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's like, well, we should do it if you've never seen it.
We'll do it.
It's like good morning, and if I don't see you, Wait, do you have YouTube?
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
That was good, right?
Oh my god, that's good.
Creepy.
Is there someone here?
I don't know who it is.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good.
Are your parents home?
No.
We're with AT&T. We're just kind of coming out to tell everyone about that recent updates. Are they going to be home a little bit later on?
Yeah, later they will be home.
Okay, like around 7 or 8?
Yeah,
Okay.
7.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just swing back
Okay,
by. Okay,
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yikes!
So the Vietnam War is because it's still going on today. To this day.
Did you say Vietnam?
Did I?
I think you did.
Okay.
Okay,
that's good. Alright. I think it started with you just picking that up. Alright.
Dang it! But conflict as in why nations get in trouble with each other. That didn't make sense.
It really didn't.
Into him. Ethnic cleansing. Don't know why he wanted to do that. Actually, I did crop that out.
The United States went into Iraq. Dick Cheney. Okay, let me crop that out. The Shiites and Sunnis.
Nope, the Shias and the Sunnis. That's why we have a script, everyone.
The Shiites and
The
Sunnis.
Shias and the Sunnis. The Korean War started at 4:30 a.m. That's why they were cranky. It was
They
early.
were.
I'd be cranky
Me
too. Shoot, don't mess with me at 4:30.
Even at 6 a.m.
Not 6, not 6:30, not 7, 7:20. No, get me at 9:30 in the morning. Then we can
9:30.
talk after I've had my Starbucks.